It's Championship Friday from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. The Bad Boy Mowers Crossover Classic, part of Feast Week, presented by Lowe's. Some hardware will be handed out today as number 15 West Virginia battles Western Kentucky for the tournament title. And yes, there is a trophy in the building, and it's a beaut, the inaugural one for this year's event. The Mountaineers advancing with wins over South Dakota State and VCU. The Hilltoppers beat a pair of potential top 25 teams to get here, Northern Iowa and Memphis, as they advance to the finals. Alongside Dan Dockich, I'm Rich Hollenberg. Both hard-fought wins to get to this moment, Western Kentucky and West Virginia. And Dan, in this championship game, we have some big-time big men going toe-to-toe.
Yeah, we've got a lottery pick here in Charles Bassey. 21-14-7 against, well, a really good front line in Memphis. You see him right there. He literally dominated the game on both. They hit a three, played defense, went and helped side, got some blocks, went on the post. Terrific, terrific player. But I'll tell you what, he's not faced a guy like Derek Culver for West Virginia. Derek Culver, you see the numbers right there. Derek Culver is a man. Derek Culver is tough on the backboard. Derek Culver runs the floor. Derek Culver knows who he is. He is a post guy that tries to out-tough you. This may be, Rich, the marquee big man battle of the entire season when we look back on it at the end of 2021.
I'm with you on that, partner. And if you love defense, you saw some lockdown D in that Virginia-San Francisco game on before us. You're going to see some of the same in this championship game from West Virginia and even from Western Kentucky. Your officials this afternoon, Gary Maxwell, Jerry Pollard, Mark Schnorr. It's the old gold for the West Virginia Mountaineers in their uniforms and the red for Western Kentucky. And we are set for the first title game in the Crossover Classic. Miles McBride controls for the Mountaineers. There's Culver with his first touch. Down low, McNeil blocked by Bassey, and he's at it already.
That was terrific both ways. McNeil made a terrific cut off a baseline screen, and Bassey, you're going to see, he's going to jump off real quick, recognize, here's the screen, and Bassey just comes to the basketball. You're going to see a lot of that. This kid has fantastic timing. You know, Rich, because you're big doesn't mean you know how to block shots. He's big, he's long, he's athletic, he's smart, and he has terrific timing.
And now Shibwe guarded by Bassey. Those are two future NBA players on the floor right now. Bassey's got a block. He almost had his first rebound, but it'll stay West Virginia basketball.
And you know what? That's a good... Shibwe went at Bassey, and because of how Culver and Shibwe go to the backboard, now it gets him an extra possession just by knocking it off Bassey. Teams don't, nobody goes as hard to the offensive glass as Shibwe and Culver.
Here's McNeil, had 16 points in both the quarterfinals and the semifinals. Off the mark on his first shot attempt. And Tavion Hollingsworth brings it up to Kenny Cooper. Here are your starters, brought to you by Sanford Health. 4 returning starters for Rick Stansbury's Western Kentucky Hilltoppers, a veteran group who knows how to win. As a matter of fact, they beat West Virginia 2 years ago in the Myrtle Beach Classic about this time of year.
Boy, they ran a little high back screen. Anderson, long, athletic, just missed a wide open layup. You're not going to get too many wide open layups against West Virginia.
Those will be hard to come by. West Virginia had the 10th best field goal percentage defensive numbers a year ago, and it looks like they're off to that same kind of a start. As for Rick Stansbury, he wants his team to be as aggressive on offense as Bob Huggins wants his club to be aggressive on defense. They make more free throws than their opponents attempt.
And Rich, you saw a little bit of it. When the ball is pushed down the floor, they like to attack, attack, attack. And as you said, they go to the free throw line a lot. And a couple things to watch. Stansbury loves number 22, who's coming to the top of the key offensively on the block.
That's Carson Williams, but that's Culver over him. Bassey has the rebound and clears. Josh Anderson coming up the right side, number 4 in red. Anderson, Hollingsworth, and Bassey all played in that game 2 years ago against West Virginia. The Tops won that game 63-57, and Charles Bassey, in just his third game as a collegiate player, had a double-double against the Mountaineers.
You saw a little bit right there, Rich, at Cooper. You see Huggy right there, who is apparently not real happy.
Never looks happy, but we know him to be a fairly happy-go-lucky guy, sitting on 883 career wins in his future Hall of Fame career.
Yeah, I love Huggy, man. He coaches you hard. He refs hard. He jumped up a little bit yesterday. We said it yesterday. I'll say it again. He has taken jobs to get to his amount of wins. This isn't like he was at Kansas, North Carolina, Kentucky. I mean, this guy took Cincinnati from really nowhere, took them to the Final Four in '92, and then Kansas State. Now here at West Virginia, he's elevated this program big time.
Little high-low action from Culver to Shibwe to open the scoring for the Mountaineers. Oscar Shibwe coming off an 11-point, 16-rebound effort against VCU. Turns 21 years old today. And Bassey answers at the other end. This is what we were expecting, Dan.
This is what should happen. Bassey on the block. I've not seen one person yet influence his shot. It's just a matter if he's going to make or he's going to miss.
And we've got a foul. It's going to be Western Kentucky basketball.
Hey, here's something to watch. A high-low with the two bigs, and you've got to be able to play this. All right, if you can run it just for a minute. Here comes the ball screen. You've got a high-low post. Now, here comes a dive man. Opposite post goes up. Now, if you could pause it right here. You have to, from this man, from Williams, get back in here or get out here with your hands up. If you don't do it, you're going to give this up all day long. You can't be in no man's land against West Virginia. There's that back screen again.
Nice look from Kenny Cooper to Josh Anderson for two.
And that's Culver's fault. Culver's guarding the screener, so he has to protect against the up screen. He didn't do it. Second time in a row. This time they made the layup.
Here's Emmett Matthews, rises up and knocks down his first jumper, and that's a good sign for Bob Huggins.
You're right, Rich. It's a great sign. He is long, athletic. They need jump shots made. You know, Matthews is the prototype kind of, he's the prototype modern player. He's long, he can shoot, he can guard big, he can guard small. He and Anderson number 4 for Western Kentucky, prototype what you want now.
And we've got an offensive foul going the other way. We talked about the good for West Virginia, the not so good. Oscar Shibwe saddled with 2 early fouls. He's on the bench just 3.5 minutes into the game.
That's second foul on Bassey right there. Second offensive foul on the handoff this time. Earlier, it was on a down screen type action.
So a couple of heavyweight big men going to the bench early going. We talked about their NBA prospects. Both of them have a very good chance to get drafted after this collegiate season. Now both find themselves watching this championship game with 2 fouls apiece.
Yeah, I think Bassey, if I'm an NBA team, I got to get serious about him.
Now Culver working on Carson Williams. Out to McBride for 3. Got it.
Yeah, Cooper, for whatever the reason, ran off McBride to try to get a steal on Culver at the top of the key. Bad decision. McBride made him pay.
So now with Bassey and Shibwe on the bench, Dan, how does that change things for both of these clubs?
Williams, the kid with the ball, 22, will eventually, during this sequence, get on the post. There he goes to the rim. That's going to have to be.
He's got a lot of YMCA game in him, doesn't he?
Let me tell you something. He is so comfortable in traffic. He's not the tallest kid, but he's thick. He's big and strong and just comfortable playing around and being physical.
He's matched up on Culver, but it's Gabe Osabuoyen. A rare offensive effort from Gabe Osabuoyen, who's a defensive specialist for West Virginia.
That was terrific.
Yeah.
Went back to his left hand. That was a fantastic move. See, they're trying to play through Williams on the block and on the right side. He can hit this.
Here's Williams for 3. Too strong. The rebound to Emmett Matthews. Here's Culver working on Williams. He's a lefty, but he comes up short in the lane. It's an early 9-7 lead for West Virginia coming in, ranked 15th in the country. And we've seen a number of top 20 teams go down already in this first week of college basketball.
You know, you asked me what they're going to do here without Bassey. Anderson, who just got the layup there, and Hollingsworth, number 11. Now, Hollingsworth's going to be in the top 5 all-time leading scorers in Western Kentucky history, and he's been terrific in this tournament. 26 opening night, 16 yesterday.
Here's McNeil. They're really going to rely on his three-point shooting this season. But it's Matthews who has the hot hand early. Emmett Matthews with his first 3, and he's got 5.
If they can make shots, Matthews, McBride, McNeil, if they can make shots, it's the Final Four team. Last year, they couldn't make shots.
Bob Huggins took his alma mater, West Virginia, to the Final Four back in 2010. He's the 6th winningest coach all time in NCAA history.
Oh,
Nice seed, but it's erased by McBride and a great follow by Hollingsworth.
Hollingsworth, he's a scorer, so what does he do? He doesn't stand. McNeil stood. He was guarding Hollingsworth, and Hollingsworth said, no, I see an opportunity, and he went and got a bucket.
Osaboyan, ill-advised. Here's Anderson. Gives it up to Osaway, and an offensive foul. We have our first media time out of this championship game, and it's West Virginia up by 1.
Well, we've been talking, oh, don't run out of ball. What are you doing? McBride's going to make you pay, and he does. And then Hollingsworth, look, this kid's born to score. Everybody else standing, Hollingsworth balling.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Bad Boy Mowers. Mow with an attitude. By Sanford Health, improving the human condition. And by Complete Sports Management, see the world through our eyes. We are back in beautiful Sioux Falls, South Dakota, with West Virginia ranked 15th in the country, leading Western Kentucky 12-11 in the Bad Boy Mowers Crossover Classic Championship game. Alongside Dan Dockich, I am Rich Hollenberg. We are safe, we are socially distanced, and in all truthfulness, we want to give a heartfelt shout out to everybody here from the top down who has pulled off an outstanding event in very trying times, and that includes all 8 teams and the referees who've shown up to pull this off, because they had no fewer than 800 COVID tests all come back negative during the week of play here.
Yeah, and college basketball fans don't know the name Leah Miller, but she and her crew got this thing done. And she also, listen to this, they're going to have 3 women's team coming in today for an MTE. South Carolina, who's the #1 team in the country, Gonzaga and South Dakota among them, both in the top 25. As you said, a total bubble success here with 800 negative tests.
Only 2 teams, West Virginia and Memphis, originally signed on for this multi-team event. Everyone else had to be replaced at least once, and yet we've had quality basketball and safe basketball at the same time. Here's Isaiah Cottrell gets in. Highly touted freshman for Bob Huggins, getting some early minutes for the Mountaineers, but a little bit of an inauspicious start for number 13.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, number 13, Cottrell, he is a guy that by the end of this year is going to be a real factor. Yeah. He posted up strong. He just wasn't confident enough to go make that basket, but he will be. He's long, he's athletic, and he looks like he has a good touch. He just doesn't have his legs under him quite yet.
Speaking of highly touted freshman, number 20 in red, that's Davion McKnight, lit up this gym in the quarterfinals for Western Kentucky. He's seeing his first action.
Rich, opening night, best player on the court.
Jordan Rawls off the mark. Another strong follow by the Tops.
Osaway is a transfer, number 2. He waited to tip, and let's see if he can go get a bucket. Can't get it over the front.
Cottrell not shy. The follow by Gabe Osaboyan. He averaged 3 points a game last year. He's got 4 today.
He looks much different today. He does. He looks much like he's got his legs under him now. He's just balling right now. He's not thinking. He's not worrying about his Huggy going to yell at me. He's just balling. I like it. I like him and Cottrell a lot.
He led the Mountaineers in deflections and charges. And now Sean McNeil picks it off. He goes right into the body of Luke Frampton, and it's an offensive foul.
Tell you, McNeil walked. I think he walked before he charged. I don't know what to tell you, McNeil. The defender was right there. And it was literally like a sack of cement running into a stationary pole right there.
Yeah, Frampton was a little slow to get back to that Hilltoppers huddle after that offensive foul. We'll take one more look as we go to break from Sioux Falls.
It's 3 steps. This isn't the NBA. LeBron James crab walk. It's traveling.
One-point game for the title of Bad Boy Mowers Crossover Classic champion. It's number 15 West Virginia up 1 on Western Kentucky, 11:51 to go. Tuesday night on ESPN and the ESPN app, we'll have the 10th annual State Farm Champions Classic. Number 13 Michigan State, number 9 Duke at 7:30 Eastern from Cameron Indoor. Then number 6 Kansas takes on number 10 Kentucky at Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Dan Dockich's hometown of Indianapolis, Indiana, and they are trying to pull this off too. It's always a treat to enjoy what almost amounts to a Final Four at the beginning of college basketball season.
You know what? The bad thing is in Indy, they're not going to have fans.
Yeah.
Last time Kentucky came for the Champions Classic, I'm driving downtown at 10 o'clock in the morning, getting ready to do my radio show. The bars are packed with Kentucky fans. And the game is until that night. They were awesome, and they got their brains beat out, and it didn't go well for them, but they had a great time. Michigan State, really good. Tom Izzo, no Cassius Winston, no Xavier Tillman, but Aaron Henry's going to have a fantastic year. It's going to be a great start to the season. Already is.
Here's Miles McBride. Jalen Bridges gets his first shot off the mark, and Rawls rebounds on the weak side. So far, it seems like Western Kentucky, despite being down 1, is outdoing the Mountaineers in their specialties. They're out rebounding West Virginia and outdoing them in points in the paint as well. But still, Mountaineers up by 1.
Now remember, 32 threes in their opener against South Dakota State in a grind. 16 yesterday in a really good pulling away win over VCU. This is a team, I don't care who's in the game, West Virginia, that does not need to fall in love with the three-point shot. 32, way too many, as Coach Huggins said.
Well, one thing West Virginia does not do especially well is shoot the ball from the outside. They're 1 for their last 8 from the field. Sometimes their best offense is rebounding their misses, and that's where Derek Culver comes in. Ooh. But Culver doesn't miss.
Boy, that was nice. He flipped that in, took Williams to his right hand, and as he was driving, he kept his chin right on the rim and got it over the front.
How about Culver's night in the semifinals? 23 points, 15 boards, and 2 blocks to lead West Virginia to this championship game. Here's Taz Sherman on the right side. Ooh, nice move by Taz Sherman.
Yeah, defense came late. That was West Virginia out Western Kentucky in Western Kentucky, right? Because that's how Western Kentucky wants to play.
Take it strong.
Good.
High hedge by Osaboyan, got beat back door by Carson Williams, and Williams showing some patience will go to the line.
Boy, is that good, too. Look, you're a big guy. And unless you're Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or somebody's just going to dunk it over everybody, Shaq, you got to take your time. You have the advantage. You're going to see McBride kind of come from the backside, number 4. Watch, McBride comes, but Williams just has patience and draws the foul, but not from McBride. See, just, I've got the ball. I'm big. Be big. Be dominant. Don't be weak with it. So many big guys are weak.
Well, it wasn't just a one-on-one big matchup we were looking forward to. Kind of a Twin Towers deal. Yesterday in the semifinals, Culver and Shibwe combined for 34 points and 31 rebounds. And Charles Bassey and this guy, Carson Williams, combined for 35 points and 23 rebounds.
Yeah, and Coach Huggins said after the game in preparation for this, Williams was a guy that really scared them because late in the game, Rick Stansbury put Williams on the block against Memphis, and Williams dominated.
Right now, West Virginia up 3, 9:45 to go in the first half of this championship game from Sioux Falls. Davion McKnight takes it away, and the freshman comes up the left side. Here's the sniper, and he's got it. Luke Frampton for 3.
Boy, that was good by McKnight. You said it. He took it away, drove it, got everybody squashed on defense, and here comes Frampton filling in behind. Great offense by Western Kentucky.
Luke Frampton didn't have a good semifinal match, but he comes alive in the finals. Saved at half court by Sherman. But Gary Maxwell's there to say he traveled with it.
Man, so many players overextend. All right, McKnight comes up with it. Now, he's going to take a rule of thumb. Go to the elbow. Watch this. He's going to get right to the elbow. He stops, and because all the yellow shirts are now at the baseline, the top of the key is wide open. Guards, kids, stop at the elbow. Shoot it if you want to. If you're not going to stop at the elbow, take it all the way to the bucket.
Western Kentucky had a chance to take a lead. Carson Williams was living on the floor in the semifinals, and he's back down there again in the title game.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with this.
That's basketball.
I agree.
McKnight triggers the inbounds under his own basket. Here's Frampton. Jump stop, had it knocked away. Again, a scrum for a loose ball. And it's going to be possession arrow, Western Kentucky.
Tell you what, guys will get on the floor. Like Western Kentucky will get on the floor. I'm looking at Williams. He's not afraid. West Virginia, you don't play for Bob Huggins unless you get on the floor, period.
Now Tavion Hollingsworth, number 11 in red, a key cog for Rick Stansbury, comes back in the game. Hollingsworth's played more minutes in his first 3 years at Western Kentucky than anybody in program history. Great look from Williams to McKnight.
Everybody forgot the inbounder. Everybody. And all of a sudden, the inbounder is wide open.
Culver, mismatch against Frampton, and he takes advantage. Derek Culver showing some nice touch.
Yeah, this is a weird lineup for Huggs, right? This is he's kind of playing with combinations right here, but the one thing that's constant is Culver.
Yeah, she's been on the bench since 2.5 minutes into this game and hasn't come off that bench yet. And now we're tied at 20, 8 minutes to go. Jordan McCabe, a starter last year for Bob Huggins at the point, is back in there. Number 5 in gold. Matthews gets fouled for his efforts, and I keep calling him Wes Matthews. Emmett Matthews will go to the line. 7:47 to go. We got a good one in the title tilt from the Bad Boy Mowers Crossover Classic. Well, this year, everybody's looking forward to getting as many games played as possible, but it's always a little more special, Dan, when you could play for a trophy, and there's a nice one that's going to be handed out in a couple hours.
Yeah, we always said, you know, as coaches, you play for rings, you play for trophies, and it's just a fantastic job. The Bad Boy Mowers Crossover Classic is going to go off, and really without a hitch, knock on wood. Hope everybody gets home safe, but what a great job.
Well, you talk about effort. Both of these teams putting forth 110%, no more than Carson Williams.
Yeah, Carson Williams, number 22. He's got the ball right here. You see everybody's running to him, wide open underneath the bucket. The man who took it out. No communication by West Virginia leads to an easy bucket by Western Kentucky. Almost looks like Carson Williams had intentions to shoot that and then changed mid-shot. Absolutely. That's a heck of a move. And you think about Carson Williams, he's about, I'll give him 6'7", but he's got to be 260. He is thick. strong and plays with his head up and plays very tough.
Now it's Emmett Matthews at the line. He was fouled going to the rim. He's got 6 points. This is a young man who really struggled last year. Averaged only 6 points a game for Hugs, but he's got offensive potential. Scored 28 in the Big 12 title game 2 years ago against Texas Tech.
Yeah, he is what you would just classify as a positionless player. Guard bigger, guard smaller, get up on top of it if you're in a zone, smother a guy on the wing in man-to-man, play in the post, handle the ball.
There's Kenny Cooper, a grad transfer from Lipscomb, had to sit out last year, but Rick Stansbury has a high expectation for Kenny Cooper and his leadership coming into this year. Now he's looking for a pass. He finds it with Josh Anderson, and Anderson, one of the most athletic players on the floor.
No question, a great back cut by Anderson and a fantastic finish. He is to Western Kentucky what Matthews is to West Virginia. Just kind of that all-around, just a baller, positionless.
Matthews misses from close range. Here comes Anderson. Anderson found a lane, but had it knocked away by Jordan McCabe. 15 to shoot for the Tops. Here's Cooper. Left hand, the bump, and the bucket.
I don't know. Hey, Cooper did a great job of running into Culver. I think in the NBA, that'd be an offensive foul. Little back cut right here. Great move by Anderson, and you see the athletic ability. It's fantastic. And then Cooper to his left hand right here. He's going to duck in. I don't know, man. That's Culver's saying, hey, look, if you're going to call a foul on me and it's his second foul, I'm going to knock the you-know-what out of you. We don't call that chicken
and now
stuff.
Derek Culver finds himself on the bench. Little strategery going to have to go on now with Bob Huggins. Both of his big men in a little bit of foul trouble. And how about Western Kentucky? Talk about playing to your strengths, Dan. 18 of their 24 points have been scored in the paint.
That's what they do. They drive it, they back cut it, they get to the foul line. It's really a well-coached team.
Osaboyan. An offensive explosion for Gabe Osaboyan, who has 6.
Well, that was great by Osaboyan because he recognized he's bigger, stronger than Anderson. Again, just take it at him. Don't mess around.
This is about as small a lineup as you'll see Bob Huggins put out there all season long. Tavion Hollingsworth off the mark. Here comes McCabe. McNeil lost the handle, but got fouled.
Really good by McNeil. He didn't settle. Went to the rim.
Well, Sunday afternoon, we have 2 more college basketball matchups featuring 3 top 20 teams. At 1 Eastern, Richmond is in Lexington to take on number 10 Kentucky. And at 5 Eastern on ESPN2, 17th ranked Houston taking on 14th ranked Texas Tech in the Lone Star Showdown at Dickies Arena in Fort Worth. Like everything else, both games available live on the ESPN app. How about Chris Mooney and the Richmond Spiders? A lot of preseason top 25 action getting some attention in Richmond.
Man, that's the great Seth Greenberg's team, man. When he talks hoops and talks about undervalued team,
yeah,
Chris Mooney and the boys with the Spiders are his team.
What do you think about John Calipari's comments that he thought he might have scheduled too hard for his youngsters?
He needs to just stop. You know, it doesn't always have to be about the coach. Urban Meyer and I had a great conversation about it. You know, Calipari makes it about him all the time. It's about the players. Just stop with that. You're at Kentucky. Play people. Who cares?
And they got some good ones, as usual. Another highly touted freshman class.
You know who doesn't do that, but schedules tougher teams? Mark Few. Mark Few play anybody, anytime, anywhere, and never makes it out to be woe is me, about me. Just stop.
Gonzaga dropped a C note on Bill Self in Kansas to open the season. That's not too shabby.
Woo.
And they'll take on this West Virginia team next year. Talk about play anyone, anywhere. Yeah, next week. Yeah, next week.
Yeah.
How about that? In the Jimmy V Classic, follow slam by Carson Williams.
Western Kentucky is not the biggest team out here, right? But they put so much pressure on you to help on a drive that it opens the backboard, and that's what Williams got. I love Cal, but man.
No Bassi, no Culver, no Shibwe, and yet we still have a thoroughly entertaining first half so far for this championship game.
It's a great half. This is a really fun half. Both teams are kind of, well, Western Kentucky's playing more to their strengths because they have normal rotation, even without Bassi.
Cooper swallowed up by the Mountaineers defense. Hilltoppers lead by 1. Under 5 minutes to go in the first half.
This is open post motion that Hugs used to run in Cincinnati. A lot of guys cutting to the basket.
Matthews couldn't handle it. Out of bounds. It's going to be Western Kentucky ball.
Drive the basketball, and then drive it some more. And that's what Western Kentucky does. And you see the backboard wide open. Williams takes advantage. You got to keep your own man in front of you if you are West Virginia. If you do that, you negate all this kind of stuff.
Another good defensive effort by the Mountaineers, protecting that rim. It's going to be Western Kentucky ball, and Jordan Rawls will check in for Rick Stansbury. Bob Huggins' team finished in the KenPom top 10 last year. This year, they're number 8 in KenPom.
Yeah, I don't know how you know any of that stuff.
Well, it's all about defensive and offensive efficiency,
I know, but we're
right?
2 games in.
Well, listen, Ken Pomeroy knows his stuff.
That's what everybody says. Look at that pressure on the perimeter. Look at this. Look where the ball is going to Look at it. He got nothing.
And
zero.
Not even allowing a backdoor cut.
You don't see 5 counts very often, but that was fantastic by West Virginia getting on top of Western Kentucky. Holy cow. That's how you teach it in practice right there. Look at number 3. Look at him. He's out there. Nobody can get to the basketball. That is really good. That's clinic right there.
Deny, deny. Times 5.
Yeah. It's like, never mind.
I think I know where you're going.
I'm not going anywhere.
And better off that you don't go there. Rich Hollenberg, Dan Dockich enjoying a really fun first half of championship basketball here from Sioux Falls. Here's McNeil, aggressive. The follow, no good. Cottrell can't handle it, and it's ripped away by Davion McKnight. We have another timeout on the floor. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's, home for the holidays.
Kev Fonson, Coach Jeep halftime report is on the way. Coming up, much more on the stunner of the day. San Francisco taking down Virginia. It was shades of Long Beach State winning in the fog a couple of years ago.
Wow, how about that? I thought I'm the only one who remembered that.
But Virginia's known for their tremendous defense. Defensive breakdowns in this game hurt them today, Seth.
No exhibition games, no scrimmages. Dan Dockich, do you believe these are like fact-finding missions right now for these teams?
Yeah, that's kind of your thing. So, yeah, I believe they're fact-finding missions. I believe it's the old-school San Francisco Dons of Quentin Daly, Bill Cartwright, Wallace Bryant, John Hegwood. You guys don't remember John Hegwood, one of my idols growing up, when they were #1 in the country, Seth Greenberg. Hey, Seth, fact-finding or not, sometimes you just get beat. And UVA, a former stop on the Seth Greenberg coaching tour, got beat by the Dons, greatest nickname in college basketball.
And that West Coast Conference going to be a little bit tougher than it normally is in terms of depth. Obviously, there's always going to be Gonzaga, as you see Miles McBride knock it down for 5 points now for McBride. But you have St. Mary's, who we saw, not going to be as good as they normally would be, but still a tough team anytime you have them on your schedule. BYU, head coach Mark Pope, has that team going in the right direction. And you see, San Francisco is going to be a tough out.
You know what? San Francisco was up all game. I mean, they were, what was it, 7 points with like a minute and a half to go. Virginia made a heck of a comeback. Hollingsworth is the man. I'm telling you, if Western Kentucky wins this, Hollingsworth is the MVP of this tournament.
Funny you said that. I mentioned that on Twitter because everyone's talking about Bassi and Shibwe and Culver. I said, this game's going to be won by some of these guards. And Hollingsworth certainly is one of those.
Look at the hands. How cool is it really that Western Kentucky wasn't even an afterthought in this tournament until people started dropping out?
That's right. Creighton had to be replaced. Ohio State had to be replaced.
Yeah.
Dayton had to be replaced. All high-quality teams. And Western Kentucky raised their hand and said, we'll come join you. And now they have a chance to win a title.
I agree. I'll tell you what, it's pretty good. I mean, and VCU came 10 minutes after Wichita State dropped out. I'm anxious at halftime to hear from Seth and Fonz about Villanova. I thought Villanova was really good last night.
Yeah.
You were sleeping. What are you talking about?
But they beat Boston College. Had a tough test from Jim Christian's Eagles. And then they had to take care of a top 20 team in Bobby Hurley's Arizona State Sun Devils. So a good couple of games for Jay Wright. And they're going to stick around in Bubbleville. They're going to play Virginia Tech.
Smart. It was a nice cut.
Anderson.
Little scissors cut. West Virginia got tied up. Nobody came to help on the... Look, big guys for West Virginia are doing a terrible job of helping on the middle up screen. They're not taking away the basket. This is a high low.
3-point lead now by the Toppers, and that feels like a 30-point lead in this game. There have been 10 lead changes already.
I'm a fan of Taz Sherman. I think Sherman's he's a valuable guy. He looks to me like the kind of guy that's coming in to energize you, whether it's offensively, defensively.
Right. His fuse gets lit pretty quickly. Here's McKnight.
How quick are these drives? West Virginia on their heels.
Drive and kick, and Hollingsworth pays it off.
You know who made that play? McKnight going to his left hand. He had vision before he drove it, found Hollingsworth opposite.
Hollingsworth has 7. The lead is 4 for Western Kentucky. Shibwe back on the floor for Bob Huggins. Sets the screen. And McNeil takes it himself.
Yeah, that was nice. McNeil got really comfortable bouncing it. One dribble left and just lifted up. But it's this end right here. Western Kentucky's gotten really comfortable against West Virginia, and you rarely, if ever, see that.
Hollingsworth checked by Sherman. Under a minute to go in the first half. Tops with the ball and the lead by 2. 5 on the shot clock. Inside, Williams. Got it. Great feed by Tavion Hollingsworth.
And again, Shibwe didn't do anything defensively. He just ran out on the ball late clock, and Williams slipped. I don't know if they're going to count it. I feel like it was in his hands. But the bigs without Culver for West Virginia are playing horrible interior defense.
Now, it might just be because our headsets are on. I didn't hear a horn go off.
I did.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
And this is close. I mean, really, really close. I felt live.
Let's take a look. Wow. I mean, I don't know if it could get any closer than that.
I'm trying to look for an LED light.
Yeah, I'm looking at the shot clock. I think he...
I don't know.
Does the tie go to the runner? I mean...
I would say that's good. They called it good.
I think so, too.
Good.
And you know what? Gary Maxwell, Jerry Pollard, veteran officials, they didn't take 5 minutes to make that call. Good on them.
No. Great on them. Rich. Oh, man. This kid's good.
Yeah. We told you, it's not just Charles Bassey down low.
No,
As a matter of fact, Charles Bassey broke his leg last year, around this time of year, December 7th to be exact, and missed the entire rest of the season. Carson Williams played the 5 for Rick Stansbury and put up monster numbers.
Man, he was over 14 a night, and you can tell, man, he's just a really good basketball player that helps you win. 1-3-1, shots in the corner.
25 seconds to go in the half. Shibwe down low, missed, got the rebound, and got fouled. And if there's one thing that Oscar Shibwe can improve upon, it's finishing at close range.
No question, and Ty Sherman reacted not happy. Number 12, they made a nice play. You got your big guy on the rim. Frankly, you got to make that shot, period. There is no excuse. There is no I got fouled. There is no nothing. I have to make that basket. Because, look, that should be, I learned this my first practice at Indiana with Bob Knight. I thought I got fouled, no problem. And then it was explained to me, in college, you make that because now he's going to be lucky to get 1 point out of what should have been 3 points. And that comes back to get you in the second half late.
Especially in a close game like this. 4-point lead. Now it's 3 with Shibwe's free throw. He has 3 points. And with 21.7 to go in the first half, we'll have some substitutions as Oscar Shibwe, with those 2 fouls, will go back to the bench for Bob Huggins. We haven't seen Charles Bassey since the 16:35 mark of this game, and Rick Stansbury's Tops are up by 3. That's a good sign for the red team.
It's a more spread out offense.
Yeah,
it really is. I mean, there's no post. Look right now. There's nobody on the block.
Shot clock is off. 10 seconds to go. Here's Williams, 5 to go. Drives, spins, left hand, no. The rebound to McBride, and we'll go to halftime. A tightly fought first half of play with a championship trophy on the line. The Western Kentucky Hilltoppers lead it by 3 over the 15th round Mountaineers, 36-33 at the break. We'll go back to the studio right now. Kevin Connors, the Fonz, and the coach. My guy. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's, home for the holidays. Our home this past week has been lovely Sioux Falls, South Dakota. The Bad Boy Mowers Crossover Classic, part of Feast Week, presented by Lowe's, and we are in the championship game. And it's been a doozy so far in the first 20 minutes. Number 15, West Virginia, finds themselves down by 3 as we start the second half to upstart Western Kentucky. Your score 36-33. Alongside Dan Dockich, I'm Rich Hollenberg. Your game summary on the left side of your screen. It hasn't been exactly the first half we thought, because the big men on both sides got in early foul trouble, but Western Kentucky has dominated in the paint nonetheless.
They sure have. 24-10 in the paint. Charles Bassey, who I think is a lottery pick, played only 3 minutes and 25 seconds. Also, Derek Culver, who is going to lead the country in double-doubles, played only 11.5 minutes. So Western Kentucky handled that much better than did West Virginia.
Those big men are back on the floor, including Oscar Shibwe, who's in the post right now against Bassey. And Culver starts the second half with a jump shot.
I mean, that looked comfortable. You know, he hasn't looked really comfortable shooting a jump shot, but there he looked as comfortable. Now you got to come out and guard him, which will open things up underneath for Oshibwe.
Derek Culver hit 7 of 9 free throws yesterday. He's a 50% free throw shooter. Shot 46% from the field last year. He's made a couple of nice looking jumpers today.
He has. He's looked good. There you go.
Here's Bassey going to work, and he misses.
See, Bassey made that much more difficult. When he caught it, he just needed his best jump, dunk it, lay it in. Instead, he spun, got in a bad spot.
Deuce McBride off the mark, and Bassey corrals the rebound.
Yeah, I'd go back to that with Bassey. He had a chance to just get an easy shot. You know, if you're Western Kentucky, you hope he's learned. Just shoot it. Just knock it in. Don't mess around.
Yeah, it's been hot and cold with Charles Bassey this tournament. Not that effective in the quarterfinals. Dominant yesterday in the semifinals. Hilltoppers in the last 3 years are 3-4 against top 25 teams. But when you have Tavion Hollingsworth hitting jumpers like that, you're giving yourself a chance to win.
He is an absolute baller. He's going to score 2,000 points. He'll be right at 2,000 points in his career. Just went over 1,500. I mean, he just plays. You want to drive, he'll do it. You want a shot, he'll do it. Ball at the end of the clock, he'll do it.
Left block. Here's Shibwe against Bassey. Gives it up to his twin tower, and Culver can't cash in.
Culver broad jumped. He didn't high jump.
Here's the lob. Williams can't finish.
When you go to the rim, you've got to jump up, not fall forward. You don't get it over the front of the rim when you fall forward. When you jump up, you get it over the front of the rim and you can play through contact.
Oscar can hit that, not that time, too strong off the back iron. Hilltoppers looking to go downhill, which they love to do. All alone, Hollingsworth. Matthews the rebound. Here's Shibwe working on Bassi.
They'll give that. That's 2 possessions in a row. Bassi's going to let him have that.
Hollingsworth, no, the rebound to Shibwe. Stolen away by Anderson. Big dunk by Josh Anderson, giving him 10 points.
Anderson just jumped in the passing lane.
Tell you what, Josh Anderson has been relatively quiet so far in this crossover classic. He is making a statement tonight.
He's best athlete out here, really. I mean, run, jump, now, you know, a lot of athletes out here, but Josh Anderson, fantastic.
10 points. Tied with Hollingsworth for game-high honors so far. Those two were key players the last time these two teams met 2 years ago in Myrtle Beach. And we have an and one for Western Kentucky. Oh, nope. We're going the other way.
No, goaltend. They called it goaltend. The ball hit the backboard. Now, you talk about going downhill. That kid right there, Hollingsworth, got downhill to his right hand. Swooped and scored. You got to do this if you're Hugs. You got to move your bigs around. And you're going to see a steal and dunk here by Anderson. This dude is an athlete. You lob a pass like that, one-handed, cross your body, this is going to happen on the other end. I love that kid. Yeah. Look at how soft that pass was. Anderson can cover ground. You got to fire passes, and you got to throw them away from your teammate, away from the defense.
Now Shibwe relegated to the bench again. Here comes Hollingsworth to Bassi.
Better get a timeout, Huggy. Wow.
What a start for the second half. Western Kentucky on a spurt.
Watch this. This is pretty good. Look at Hollingsworth. He just jumps around, gets it, and Bassi's flying down the floor, gets rewarded.
Tavion Hollingsworth has dominated the opening moments of second half. 5 points and an assist, but during this timeout had to get his left hand taped up, Dan Dakich.
Yeah, I think he hit the face, right? Watch his left hand go into the face. I don't know.
It was tough to see exactly where he injured it, and we're not sure what the injury is, but you could see him.
It's a thumb.
Grabbing his thumb. Training staff for Western Kentucky got on it right away, got it taped up. And Tavion Hollingsworth is going to be a key piece in the final stretches of this game. Right now, he's on the bench.
He's been the key piece, I think, don't you, all weekend?
Absolutely.
Or all week, I guess.
Leading this Hilltoppers team in scoring.
See, they're daring this jump shot.
Culver face-up game. Almost threw it away. Working against Bassi. Muscle on muscle.
Oh, man. If you want a clinic on how to be a big man, Derek Culver just gave it to you. You don't back away because you're getting belly bumped. You don't back away because the other guy's fighting you. You go into, right there, he went into Bassi, and then he goes into the defense here and gets pushed back, chin on the rim, follows it to the basket. Perfect. That's how you play as a big.
West Virginia broke a 4-minute and 15-second scoreless drought with that, and another good-looking free throw from the big man, Derek Culver. He has 9 His team down 7.
I like Huggins doing this. Pick up full court. Just, if anything else, make him uncomfortable bringing the ball up, because Western Kentucky got really comfortable here.
Yeah, this is not a team that could be press Virginia like they were a couple of years ago, but they can get up in your jersey. Bassey, a chance at a 3-point play.
Watch Bassey slip this screen. This is fantastic. He did it earlier, didn't get rewarded. He's coming out the screen, and you're going to see he reads it. All right, ball coming out. Here he goes, and he slips. And the defense, the help is late, and when help is late, it's a bucket, a foul, or both. Bassey is a smart basketball player.
And those last 2 possessions, we saw why Derek Culver and Charles Bassey are going to play at the next level.
Right. That's 2 guys playing in the post that understand how to play.
Bassey shot it at a 79% clip in his 10 games last year before the broken leg. He completes the 3-point play. So Charles Bassey has 7, and the lead is 10. That is Tavion Hollingsworth still on the bench, though, with that left thumb taped up.
I'm telling you, that's a huge shot right there.
Lines it up and knocks it down.
Man, is that a huge shot. There's a zone by Western Kentucky, and West Virginia doesn't have anybody that's comfortable playing in the middle of it. But Sherman said, to heck with that, I'm drilling it.
Watch Bassey on the roll. Instead, it's Rawls with the layup on the right side.
They've got so many guys, as you said, they can go downhill and make a play. They got 4 or 5 guys can all do it and do it well.
Mid-post, Culver on Bassey. Ooh. Foul on the floor. And you get the feeling like Coach Huggs said to his team, go against Bassey. We need him on the bench in foul trouble.
Yeah, he's got 3. They're going to keep him out there, and they're going to go to a zone to protect him a little bit. But you know what? You can still, with Culver, isolate Bassey and go one-on-one, take it at him, try to get a 4th quick.
Osaboyan against the smaller Rawls drew the foul.
Same thing with Osaboyan. He knew how to play in the post. He wasn't going backwards. He was going forward and going strong.
It'll be 2 shots for Gabe Osaboyan. One of the only seniors on this West Virginia roster, transferred from Arkansas a couple years ago. 6'7" senior out of Ontario, led the team in deflections and charges. This afternoon had a good offensive first half, 6 points in the first half for Osaboyan.
Yeah, he's played well, and he's going to have to play well here because they want him. He's a decent-looking stroke. He's going to have to hit a foul line jump shot or 2 to spread things out here for West Virginia because they're giving him that shot.
14 in red, Frampton with the ball. He's a 3-point specialist. But it's off Davion McKnight's foot out of bounds, and it'll be West Virginia basketball.
That was a great play by Osaboyan. He got his hand in there and knocked it off the foot of McKnight. That was terrific by Osaboyan. I wouldn't be surprised because he just made a good defensive play if he doesn't knock one in from the free throw line here next time he looks to shoot it.
Here he is with the ball.
See, he doesn't want to take it, but he's going to have to hit it.
McBride knocks it down.
And you can't do that against McBride. McKnight went under the screen. You have a natural help there from your big off of Osaboyan. You go under the screen and you allow McBride to get the shot. You got to go over this screen. Right here, you're going to see number 20 on the right. He goes underneath. He's got natural help right here, so he should go over, but he gets buried by the screener, and it's a wide open. That's a layup for a kid like McBride.
McBride on McKnight.
Too open.
Here comes Deuce. Going downhill, the blow by. And almost a chance at a 3-point play.
Now that should have been a 3-point play, but Bassey came over and got way up. And McBride had to shoot it just a little too high, or else he would have made this bucket. Watch Bassey come over. He recognizes, and he comes over at about 12 feet in the air.
Talk about good athletes. Miles Deuce McBride, a sophomore from Cincinnati, went to Moeller High School, as you know very well, Dan. A tremendous high school for athletics. A lot of NFL players from there. Some baseball talent coming from there. The Griffeys, the Larkins went to Archbishop Moeller High School.
Well, Carl Kramer's been there a long time as the head coach, and he is as good a high school or college or prep school, whatever. He's as good a basketball coach as there is in the country. So when kids come out of there, they're ready to be coached. And if you go play for Hugs, guess what? You're going to be coached.
It's a two-possession game, 50-44, Western Kentucky on top. And a little bit out of control from the freshman McKnight.
What happened there was McKnight just got sped up. They got into McKnight, and he got his head down going to the rim, and Osaboyan came off his man in the corner. He's just going too fast. He's just got his head down, and he can't make the play without running somebody over. Great play. Osaboyan's been good in this game since coming in.
And he's playing major minutes with Oscar Shibwe on the bench in foul trouble.
Dude, that's a good move by Huggins. You see, they want to go high-low, but they weren't respecting Osaboyan, so he put Taz Sherman there at the top of the key to be the passer. You have to come out on Sherman, and it's going to open things up underneath for Culver.
Fouls and free throws.
That's it.
Going to be a big storyline in the next 12 minutes and 46 seconds.
I guarantee you, every day in practice, Rick Stansberry talks about fouls and free throws in Western Kentucky, because that's what they do. They draw fouls and they get to the free throw line.
McNeil. Osawe grabs it for Western Kentucky. Here he is on the other end. No Hollingsworth, no Anderson, no Bassie on the floor for Rick Stansberry's club. Where does the offense come from?
The offense is going to have to come from Williams. I'd like to see Williams get on the block, even though he's, right, drive it. There you go.
Double teamed. Now he's stuck. And a shot clock violation. Another good defensive stand by the Mountaineers.
I mean, let's look at it. Frampton is a step-up shooter, right? That's what you got. Osawe is a really good player playing in his first game. He's not comfortable yet, but I'm telling you, Williams on the block, not out there, but on the block, you got to create offense from him. Or you got to substitute and get Hollingsworth back in the daggone game.
Tavion Hollingsworth went out with that thumb injury at the 15:36 mark. So we haven't seen him for 4 minutes of game time.
Yeah.
Culver, nice touch, left hand.
Yeah,
double digits for him.
I'm sorry, Rich. He turned away. The help was coming from his left shoulder to his left shoulder, so he turned to his right shoulder, and that's bad defense. Williams has to take that shoulder away and force him into the help.
Here's Frampton. 10 on the shot clock for the Tops. Here's Osawe for three, too strong, and Osaboyan has the rebound. Chance to make it a one-possession ball game with a bucket. Here's Osaboyan. And a foul on the floor. That's going to go on Carson Williams, and we have a timeout on the floor. Western Kentucky hanging on to a 4-point lead. Coming up in a couple of days, we have a pair of college basketball matchups that you don't want to miss. At 1 Eastern, Richmond in Lexington to take on number 10 Kentucky. Then at 5 Eastern on ESPN2, 17th ranked Houston squares off against 14th ranked Texas Tech. And like everything else, both games are available live on the ESPN app. If I was a Big 12 fan, I would not be sleeping on the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Mac McClung, transfer. Marcus Santos Silva, transfer. Chris Beard's got another top 10 quality team.
Yeah, and you got me in trouble, man. The Kentucky Twitter guys are going crazy.
That was unintentional.
How dare you not just bow down?
Well, there is Tavion Hollingsworth back in the game with 12 points. Remember, he missed about 4 minutes with that thumb injury. We'll see how effective he could be now.
Yeah, I didn't like the way they wrapped that thumb, I'm telling you. And I'm not right. I mean, the trainer did it right, but they did it on the outside, and that's like a cast. That thing's not moving. So the trainer did it right. But I'm anxious to see, because there's a lot there. I'm anxious to see if he can use his left hand. He's kind of wiggling as he's coming down the court.
Big 2 free throws by Gabe Osaboyan, who was a 54% free throw shooter a year ago. Makes it a 2-point game, 50-48. Western Kentucky on top of 15th ranked West Virginia.
This is the most stagnant they've been. Western Kentucky offense.
4 starters in Frampton on the floor right now for the Tops. And Bassie checking back in and getting an easy dunk.
And Culver bailed them out. You never, ever, not one time do you go for a steal in the post unless you are 1,000% you're going to get it. Culver lunged, and when you lunge in the post, what happens? Guy dunks it with his head.
There's Taz Sherman, a silky smooth jump shot.
I like this lineup. I like this lineup a lot for West Virginia. This lineup can score.
Anderson off the mark.
I would
West
think this.
Virginia
I'm
has
sorry.
a chance to tie now.
Yeah, I would think West Virginia's going to take a lead if these 10 guys stay on the court for the next minute or two.
Why do you like it so much?
I just think there's 3 guys on the perimeter that can all score, and obviously they have enough size up front. But this kid's really good, and they can still do that.
Fight for the loose ball, Osaboyan and Anderson, and it's going to be possession arrow to Western Kentucky.
Kids out there, if you're getting posted up and you're behind the man, never lunge around the post. All right, right on the block, right there. You're all right. Not great. And then you lunge with your left hand, and there's no help, particularly when it's in the middle of the floor. Big guys, rule of thumb, always have to score over other big guys, not around them.
Mountaineers have used a 9-2 run in the last 5 minutes to get back in this game. But now it's Bassie and Hollingsworth and Anderson back on the floor. The big 3 for Rick Stansbury's Hilltoppers. Hollingsworth off the mark. Shibwe back in for Bob Huggins. Mountaineers grabs the rebound. McNeil wants it in the corner, but Culver takes it himself. And Bassie clears.
When that happens, Culver is going to have to look for Oshibwe, and Oshibwe has to make himself to present himself because Bassie's looking to come over and block it. There it is again. Now make him score over.
Bassie, tough shot.
Can't do it.
Yep, and Shibwe clears.
You use your chest, Rich. You don't use your arms. You use your chest. Oh, nice.
And Charles Bassie slow to get up and walking away from action and to the bench.
There's going to be a lot of guys that go down on the block against this West Virginia team that get beat up a little bit.
And that is, you don't see that very
straight
often.
to the locker room.
Straight to the locker room. We'll keep you updated as soon as we hear anything. There's Miles McBride with 2, and we have ourselves a tie ball game.
Yeah, this is a good lineup. Even though, you know, they changed the big with Shibwe, that's fine. I mean, this is a good lineup for West Virginia.
Frampton, as they swing it around, nothing but air on that one. And all of a sudden, West Virginia starting to impose its will.
You know what you don't see? You don't see good shooters miss left or right. Good shooters miss long, short, or in and out.
McNeil, too strong.
Bad shot.
And you see Hollingsworth, now he hurt his right thumb. And a big 3-pointer there for West Virginia.
Yeah, I love this kid, Sherman. Get it back to Sherman. I'm telling you, he's feeling it. He made a bucket in the middle, and now he'll make one left side if they drive it.
Off the hands and out of bounds of Oscar Shibwe, and you see the frustration on the big guy's face. Well, Taz Sherman, hot shooting in the second half.
Rich, you know they need this, right? I mean, West Virginia needs to make shots. Hollingsworth hurt, that's big.
Kevin, Coach, Illinois in trouble against Ohio. Coach, the Bobcats have a star.
Jason Preston, he is absolutely terrific. He's got a PhD in ball screen offense. He had 31 and 8 and got the ball anywhere he wanted all game.
6 rebounds, 2. Illinois down by 1. Closing seconds. Ayo Dosunmu to the bucket, draws the foul, makes both free throws. The Fighting Illini Rich survive.
And after scoring 1 billion points in their first 2 games, Brad Underwood had a little white knuckle affair in that one.
This is not hyperbola to start a season, okay? I said this last year, and I'll say this year. Ayo Dosunmu is the best closer in college basketball. I saw it his freshman year when he lifted up, and I made a fool of myself when he beat Michigan State. I saw it last year, and now you're seeing it again. If it gets close, it's Ayo time in Champaign.
It's not hyperbola, and it's not hyperbole either.
Right.
I don't think it's either of those two.
Yeah, Indiana, we didn't worry about actual pronunciation. Syracuse, you guys are much smarter.
No need to worry about Charles Bassey. He's back on the bench, and when they were coming back out, the coaching staff gave the thumbs up like he's going to be okay. So that's good news for Western Kentucky. This game has been tight throughout. 13 lead changes and 7 ties for the Crossover Classic Championship. There's Bassey riding the bike. Maybe he just cramped up.
You know, we looked at this during the break, and I'm not really sure. I'll tell you this, if you have the injury that Bassey had, anytime you feel a tweak, and you see muscle, physical, doesn't fall down, and then you're going to see back here, he's kind of limping.
Here's another look. Going against Shibwe. Backpedaled, and then as he walked off the floor, you couldn't really even tell which leg he was favoring.
No, and he just went straight to the locker room.
Have you ever seen that before?
No, I really haven't. Usually you stop, the trainer comes over, but you know what? The kid had a horrific injury, and I don't blame him at all for, hey, look, I need to figure this out before I come back and get on a bike or play.
McBride knocks down both free throws. It's not sexy, but we said fouls and free throws are going to tell the tale in this game.
Yeah, both teams will get there. Here's your downhill with Hollingsworth.
Hollingsworth hesitated, put up the floater. You wonder if maybe he would have taken that stronger had it not been for that thumb injury that he suffered earlier. And by the way, Dan, I don't see tape on his thumb anymore.
I told you, it was not a bad tape job. It was a good tape job, but it was a tough tape job, meaning it was, you go from the outside. I don't want to get too technical because obviously I'm not a trainer, but I knew he was going to take that off. I told you when I saw the tape job, that's coming off soon.
Dan Dakich, raconteur. He is a man of many skills, and I didn't know athletic trainer was one of them.
Well, when you coach for 1,000 years, you know certain things that just are useless unless they pop up on TV. Well, you need a bucket here if you're West Virginia. You got them reeling right now. You don't want to waste another possession.
Here's Osaboyan. He's been good on the offensive end this game. Shibwe, offensive rebound and the putback.
Boy, Shibwe, like I said yesterday, just the big kid. I mean, the big kid in 8th grade, just bigger than everybody, kept it over his head, knocked it in.
You've said this multiple times, Dan. Basketball's simple. Doesn't have to be hard.
Basketball is simple. I mean, it really is. Hold the ball up, figure it out.
Rick Stansbury hoping he can get his big man Charles Bassey back in the game. They were up 2 when he exited with that apparent leg injury, and now they find themselves down 7 with 5:46 to go.
2 reasons for that. One, I think West Virginia's done a good job of guarding their own, meaning even when Hollingsworth or somebody's gone to the rim, they've had to go over them. And 2, Bassey's coming back in right now. But when Bassey is in, you can solidify everything by throwing it to the post. He hasn't been in, and they haven't looked at Williams on the post. That's got to go in. It's got to. It's what he's there for.
Automatic, right?
Jerry Seestinger, the old Celtic, told me, I'm in the NBA because I'm supposed to make open shots. If I don't make open shots, I don't ever belong in the NBA. Frampton, if he's going to be on this team, he's got to make open shots.
He did there,
Tough.
And he brings his team to within 4.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's a couple bad possessions. They got bailed out by Oshibwe earlier, last possession. That one no good. Now it's a foul on West Virginia, and I believe you've got to go to the block here and play out of it with Bassey.
Hugs in a dogfight for career win number 884.
I hope at the end of this year, whenever the balloting comes, that he makes a Hall of Fame.
Please.
Right?
It should have been automatic by now.
You know, I've forgotten the Akron Zips when I've talked about Hug.
Yes. Off the mark, over the back. And it's going to stay Western Kentucky basketball. So Bassey's on the floor. Hollingsworth is there without the tape. We thought it was going to be a heavyweight fight.
It is. Oh, great defense. Matthews thought he had a steal. He thought he had that one going the other way. Just couldn't corral it.
So now all 9 of the 10 starters for both teams combined are back on the floor. Luke Frampton, who comes off the bench for Rick Stansbury, is also in there for the Hilltoppers.
You know, when you have Bassey in the game, you need to have Frampton with him because you have to stay with Frampton. It gives you space. It's a little like Duncan Robinson for the Miami Heat. You know, he's out there. He'll make everything, but you're also giving space. More inside guys get room with a guy like Frampton out here.
You know, it's funny you mentioned Duncan Robinson. He actually played in this gym with the Sioux Falls Skyforce.
Duncan Robinson and my son were roommates, and if you'd have told me, and I love him, I don't like him, I love him, but if you'd have told me he was going to impact the NBA Finals like he did, I'd have been a little surprised.
And he did it all season long.
He's terrific, and he's the greatest kid ever.
Here's McNeil. Now Culver working on Williams. Left hand, got it again.
Same thing. Did Culver fade away? No. Culver went into the big, strong Williams, gathered himself, made a great jump. He didn't fall, he jumped and got it over the front of the rim. Fantastic post play, Culver.
The largest lead in this game has been 10, but right now the lead for the Mountaineers is 6, and they could add to that with another bucket here. McNeil, quick release, got it.
Boy, the reason I said ooh when he got it, you could tell he was going to make that. He was low, he was strong, he was definite in his jump. Timeout.
Stansbury wants to talk it over. Western Kentucky has 2 timeouts remaining with 3:44 to go, and the Mountaineers are threatening to take this one all the way to a title. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Bad Boy Mowers. Mow with an attitude. By Sanford Health, improving the human condition. And by Complete Sports Management. See the world through our eyes.
Love this city, Rich.
Yeah, there's Falls Park. You think you come to South Dakota only to go to Mount Rushmore? You come to Sioux Falls and you'll see some pretty sights too.
I come to the Blue Rock across the street.
That's right.
They treat me nice.
Those folks took great care of us. Everybody inside the Sanford Pentagon has taken great care of us and all 8 teams who have participated in this inaugural Bad Boy Mowers Crossover Classic. We hope there's another one next year. Right now, West Virginia looking to be the first champion of the Crossover Classic. They lead at 64-55 with 3:44 to go.
Got to apologize. It's Shebwe, not Oshebwe. I put a little Irish in there. McMillan? No. McCabe?
They have McCabe, they have McNeil, and they have McBride.
Right.
But they don't have Oshebwe.
No, there's no O. Silent. I've messed that up all day. Apologies to everybody.
Here's McNeil.
Wow.
Looks good out of his hands every time.
Yeah, it does. I'll tell you what, not a bad shot either. I know normally, look at the run out. Wow.
And look at the athleticism of Bassey.
I'm telling you, he started sprinting, and we're up top. If we were courtside, that would have been crazy good because he was, boom, he flew.
Right down the chute.
Right down Main Street.
11.6 boards for Charles Bassey in relatively limited play in this championship game. Culver just bowls over Luke Frampton. Talk about a mismatch.
I love the officiating there, no call. I love that. Good. Hey, look, little guy wants to get in there. Don't reward the little guy. Big guy just smashed him.
Derek Culver only has 1 rebound, but now he has 15 points. He's going to be on the all-tournament team. Williams, YMCA again.
And he's so crafty. Culver had his arms out. Looked like he had him swarmed, but Williams found a way to get it in.
Now Carson Williams in double figures with 10 points.
Somebody's going to have to hit a 3 here. It's either going to be right side with McNeil, or they're going to diagonal it to Culver for a layup next possession if they stay in a 1-3-1. Hey, get out of my way. Just get out of my way.
Rich?
Thank you very much, KC. Well, we talked about a heavyweight tilt between Charles Bassey on the left, Derek Culver on the right. And that's what it's starting to play out to be after earlier in this game, both teams saddled with foul trouble. Now it's going to come down to these heavyweights. 11-6 for Bassey, 15 points on 7 for 12 shooting from Culver. Who do you think has the advantage in the final 2 minutes?
Well, I think Derek Culver does. I think Derek Culver in half-court offense, he's the #1 option. And I'm not sure that's that way with Bassey quite yet. They've been trying to get high-low with whoever is in the middle. It might end up being Culver in the middle.
There he is, screen left. McBride, tough shot, no good.
Well, he could have given that to Culver. Culver had rolled playing in the middle. Once again,
Hollingsworth fouled by Shibwe.
Shibwe and West Virginia has not gotten back on defense very well in the 2 games that you and I have done, Rich.
Bob Huggins, perplexed. Just another day that ends in Y.
Love him.
I don't know if there's a coach that gives back more to his community than Bob Huggins does to Morgantown, West Virginia.
No, he loves West Virginia. In fact, I got hired there in 2002. And Huggins was responsible, really, for me getting hired there. He vouched for me. He was at, I don't know if he was out of coaching then or at Kansas State, but he cares deeply about everything West Virginia.
Now, just to update everybody on the tape job heard round South Dakota, Tavion Hollingsworth has his thumb taped again, but it's taped the way that Dan Dockich said it should be taped.
You're making fun of me.
I'm not. You noticed that, and I think that's stuff that no one else would have noticed.
It's true. I mean, you tape it on the inside. You don't tape it from the outside. The outside smashes
wiggling
it.
his thumb?
Yes, he couldn't
Now
wiggle
he's
it
able to
before.
move it.
Because
Right.
when you tape it from the outside, it smashes it to your pointer finger.
All right, let's give you today's play of the game, brought to you by Complete Sports Management. And Charles Bassey, he could rebound, he could block shots,
Well,
he could also run like a gazelle.
Hey, he ran by all 5 guys. Like, all 5. Sprinted past them. Every guy in yellow ran past, including everybody on the bench and everybody that's coaching wearing a mask ran past by that kid. That's why the NBA, let's be honest, you know, he's got the greatest body you're ever going to see. He's very willing to do whatever you need to do to win. Block shots, get on the post, shoot a 3. And you know what? He can run like crazy.
There are a select few NBA scouts in attendance because of COVID protocols, but you know they're all drooling at the thought of getting Charles Bassey in their uniform.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's a process, obviously. You go through a lot of things to get drafted, but when you look at it just from watching him over these 3 games, why wouldn't you take a chance on that kid?
A timeout called. We'll step aside for 30 seconds, be back with the finale of the championship game. On ESPN at 3:30 Eastern on ABC. Number 2 Notre Dame squares off against number 19 North Carolina, and at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN, rivalry game between 15th ranked Oregon and Oregon State in Corvallis. Gotta love a Thanksgiving weekend when there's wall-to-wall basketball and football on ESPN and ABC.
It's the greatest holiday there is. Like, no college basketball coaches know about Thanksgiving because you're always with your team. But as soon as I got out of coaching, I'm like, wait, my sister-in-law, Roberta Dockage, made all this food? This is awesome.
Under a minute and a half to go. 6-point lead by West Virginia. McBride. Bassey's there. And Bassey blocks it, but before the block, a traveling violation.
Yeah, I was going to say, Bassey made him travel. There was no room. Culver was open, and it's easy to see from up here, but it was impossible for McBride to see that because of how long Bassey was. He swallowed him up.
And now full court pressure with a 6-point lead for Bob Huggins.
Yeah, I think Hollingsworth has to be involved here, either creating for himself to the rim, going to his right, or maybe on the same side with Frampton to get an open look.
Kenny Cooper, tough shot. Bassey with the tip.
Wow. Instead of Hollingsworth, they put Hollingsworth in the corner and they drove it right with Kenny Cooper, and Hollingsworth, I swear to you, he was 12 feet in the air. Watch how high he gets. Here. There's a shooter in the corner. Watch this. Man. Like, that's not going over a little guy. That's going over maybe the guy who's going to have the most double-doubles in the country, Derek Culver.
And some of the things that might go unnoticed on that tip-in, not only the jumping ability, but the timing of the jump and the dexterity of that tip. It's not as easy as Bassey made it look.
Here's how I judge it, Rich. I think Bassey would be a basketball player if he were 6'3". You know what I mean? Like, I like Shaq. Shaq, you know, big, strong. I don't know if he'd be a basketball player at 6'3". I don't know. But Bassey, to me, is one of those guys because of timing, because of intelligence, because of being able to play outside, inside, understanding the game. I think he would be a player at 6'1". I do. He's that kind of good.
Charles Bassey, 13 points, 7 rebounds. And he's only played 17 minutes in the championship game.
And they played well without him. Really well, actually.
Just a 4-point lead, under a minute to go. Mountaineers trying to hang on. Trapped in the corner is McNeil, and a timeout called. That's going to be the final timeout for Rick Stansbury.
That wasn't McNeil's fault. Your point guard, and I've been talking about the point guard play of West Virginia for 2 days. You just can't dribble it down the court against a trap and throw it to the corner. And then everybody ran away from him. There's nobody here. I guess McBride comes back, but you got to stop, back it out, and reverse it against a trap. That beats the trap, but throwing it the same way that you're dribbling, that plays right into the trap's hands.
While we have this timeout, let's announce today's player of the game, brought to you by Bad Boy Mowers. Derek Culver, we came in talking about him. He had 15 points on 7 for 12 shooting.
Yeah, he's been terrific. Hasn't rebounded maybe like he's gonna, but this down here on the block is old school good, and this one I absolutely loved. He went right up and through 2 really big guys. This is a tough guy right here, Culver.
And you know what? Those are shots that he missed a lot of times last year.
I thought he missed a few of them yesterday to start with, but you know what? As Seth Greenberg said, you're on a fact-finding mission. You're also on a mission to get your legs under you and get used to game-type stuff. You're seeing it with Culver today.
3rd game in 3 days. There are some tired legs out there, but they don't look like it. Ton of effort on the floor in the red uniforms and the old gold.
Well, both of these coaches, you know, there was a saying that Coach Knight always had: don't think tired, think play. So, and Rick and Huggs, both of them, you know, I don't want to hear about being tired. I want to hear about play. That's it. Particularly him. Like, can you imagine walking over, hey, Coach, man, I'm just too tired to get in the stands. It'd be like, all right, well, I'm too tired to give you a scholarship anymore.
Go find another sport.
Yeah, I'm too tired to put you in a game now, okay?
Western Kentucky giving themselves a chance, a 5-0 run in the last minute and a half.
Rich, I'm anxious to see, can McBride, can McNeil, can somebody for Kentucky, for West Virginia, make a big 3? That's the difference in winning and losing NCAA tournament games.
Bounce pass, Sherman open, blocked by Bassey. The last line of defense coming up again. Charles Bassey with the block, And we're going to check and see, is it Western Kentucky basketball?
I love Bassie. I mean, he just plays, man. He just plays.
I mean, Sherman was wide open, and then Bassie just erased it.
As soon as Sherman caught it, you know what was in the back of his mind? Bassie.
Right.
And then you know what became in the front of his mind? Bassie. I'm telling you, look at Sherman. No, I'm not going for that. That's why I'm telling you, this kid is smart. He's just not a guy that's going to jump because somebody gives me a fake.
That's his second block this afternoon, had 7 of them in the semifinal win yesterday.
I think that's off West Virginia, no, right here?
The officials are checking.
I think that's off Matthews Jr. right there, no?
Looks to me like you are correct, sir. But 45.9, they're going to look at it, make the right call. A championship is at stake.
Man, he came sprinting to block that shot. It's fun to watch, you know, isn't it? I mean, really, I mean, you see a kid like Bassie and you're like, all right, you know, we don't get a chance to really pub up bigs all that much, that kind of thing. And this kid hustles.
Yeah.
He's got terrific timing, and he's enthusiastic about playing.
You know who's loving watching this game in the studio? Fonz.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because Fonz was like that, too. Like, what do you want me to do, coach?
Right. The game of basketball has, over the course of a number of years, become more and more dominated by outside shooting. The Steph Currys of the world, that evolution of basketball. We're seeing some old school big man play in this championship.
We are. You know, Bassie may be a little more mobile than Culver, but Culver does what he does and does it really well.
And you can't coach 7 feet or 6'11" for that matter. So Western Kentucky has 1 timeout left. West Virginia is out of timeouts. Possession arrow to the Mountaineers, 45.9 to go. And the Mountaineers are up 4.
They said it's West Virginia's ball, but everybody was still arguing. Stansbury was hot. Huggy came out to talk.
So West Virginia has it. Western Kentucky fouls.
They still have another foul to give, I think. According to the board, that's only the 5th.
Big free throw.
Or maybe to further prove what West Virginia Twitter is saying, maybe I'm wrong, because I looked at
Well, according to West Virginia Twitter, you're always wrong.
I haven't gotten a thing right since I left.
I would beg to differ.
Thank you.
14 for McBride.
Can't give up a 3 here. And if you're Western Kentucky, go downhill. If Frampton gets a 3, great, but go to the rim.
Bassie for 3. Now they got a foul. And Luke Frampton does. He fouls Sean McNeil, one of the best free throw shooters on the West Virginia roster.
Rich, you have seen West Virginia more than anybody really in our workplace, ESPN. How good is this team?
They're better than they were last year, and certainly better than they were 2 years ago. And we saw better shooting today and even yesterday to some extent. If McNeil and Sherman and McBride hit shots like we've seen in this championship game, I think they're at least Sweet 16 good.
Yeah, I think second weekend for sure.
Yeah.
You know, but you know what? They're gonna play hard, and they have experience. You know, I think they're a team that, you know, let's be honest, who knows what a Final Four team looks like right now, not named Gonzaga, because that looked like a Final Four team yesterday, but this looks like a team as good as any in the country.
Absolutely.
But you got to stay healthy.
Yeah. And hitting free throws in a close game is going to be huge. Remember, this team last year, West Virginia, only shot it 64% as a team from the free throw line. Today, from the free throw stripe, they're 15 of 19. I know that's not the most entertaining thing to focus on and talk about, but if you hit your free throws late especially, you're going to win yourself a lot of ball games, and that's exactly what the Mountaineers are doing. Let's quickly check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. KC.
Yeah, and Rich, we want to let you know that USF underway right now over on ESPN News. Battle in the American Conference, the war on I-4. You will see it here on ESPN once things go final in Sioux Falls. Back to the always well-dressed Rich Hollenberg.
(70-64), a two-possession ball game, but there's only 18.6 left for Western Kentucky to mount a comeback. Charles Bassey has turned it on in the second half. He has 15 points and 8 rebounds, but it might be a little too little and a little too late for the Hilltoppers, who have made a great game and a great tournament of it here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. A very late addition to this field of 8, but they have been as impressive as anybody, Dan.
There's no question. This is a very good basketball team. This is an NCAA basketball team. This is a team that could, if not, win 2 games, certainly win a game or in the NCAA tournament. I can't wait to watch the rest of the years of the layup down the court.
There's Sherman on the release, and the foul is not called. And now it looks like West Virginia will be able to run it out. Anderson gets it, 5 seconds to go.
This is going to matter for some people.
The shot falls off, and 15th ranked West Virginia comes to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and wins 3 games in 3 days to claim the inaugural Bad Boy Mowers Crossover Classic. Win number 885 in his illustrious career for Bob Huggins. West Virginia's 3-0 on the season. For everybody here in South Dakota, including my broadcast partner, Dan Dockich, I'm Rich Hollenberg saying so long from Sioux Falls. Now let's send it to Roy Philpott and Kelly Stopper, UCF and USF.